Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Colorado Rockies rebuild franchise here on MLB The Show 24. Today, we're going to start with a look at the MLB Draft and just dig into our scouting a little bit. So, our Colorado Rockies select at 7, 44, 72, 81. So, 2 picks in the top 44, 4 in the top 81. So, some potential targets at 7. We have some guys here at the top of the board. Mario Polanco looks like a stud second baseman, a potential 5-tool player, but I don't think he'll be there, so I don't know if we're even going to bother scouting him. Then there's Alex Parra, a third baseman with very good power, very strong arm there at the hot corner. Again, Steve Dell here, who's actually the top player on the board. Don't think he'll be at our pick either. So some potential options for us realistically. Marcos Castro, 11th on the board and 60% scouted. He's 4th on our board. Just looks like a potential Gold Glover, elite speed, but nothing special at the plate, but not bad. Looks like just average all around, good vision, decent contact, power, nothing special. But as a shortstop, he has a elite glove and very good speed, so an electric type player. But picking at 7, I would really like someone with a better bat. And then there's a couple pitchers. So we selected, 6 starting pitchers last year, just a pitching heavy draft. And William McCauley here at number 8 on the board would probably be there. Fletcher Kingman, a lefty from Germany, ranked 10th on the board. We haven't really bothered with scouting these guys quite yet. We've been focused on infield and kind of branching out now to outfield. But these guys might be the best players on the board when we pick. So we're going to have to do our due diligence. We haven't really scouted any of these top guys, but we probably should just in case they're on the board at our pick. And that'll bring us to Pedro Rosado. He's 6th on the board, so of all the top position players here at the top, I think he's most realistically the guy we can end up with. And potential contact, tremendous, very good power, just great hitter all around with even better vision and discipline. And looks like to be a very good fielder with above average speed as well. So we're going to scout Rosado here in the coming weeks, and he might be our top option at number 7 if he holds up in scouting. So like I said, starting pitching we haven't really bothered with too much. We're very deep. We're a lot more deep at that spot than we were at this point last year. So we're going to try and focus on position players. We might start to look at some relievers here down the line. Richard Chin, not even ranked on the overall board, along here with Luis Lopez, both top 17 players according to our scouts, but that is before scouting. At catcher, Rafael Benitez, 5th on the overall board, just 18th on ours after 60% scouted, but he looks to be a very good catcher, very strong arm, above average fielder, and a very good hitter as well. But we'll see the potential and the overall very close. So I don't know how high of a ceiling he would have. So I don't know if he's really a potential target at 7, if he's even available at our pick. Joaquin Castillo kind of dropped a little after scouting from 18 to 48. Along here with John Leal and Ozzie Montanez, they also dropped. Ken Ramirez went from 135 to 108, just 35% scouted, but the contact looks really good. A strong arm at the backstop, so maybe a late round target if he's available. I really would have liked to get a stud catcher early in this draft, but that just does not look to be the case. But we'll finish off Benitez and see what he ends up. At first base, really nothing doing. Muhammad Huffman looks like a potential target at 72 or 81. Good power as a switch hitter and a very strong fielder. Also can play a little third base and a very strong arm there. So a corner infielder with some power, and we could definitely use that, especially in the 2nd or 3rd round. At second base, we talked about Polanco. Looks to be a potential 5-tool player and maybe the number 1 pick in the draft. And then there's David Castilla, 68th on the board. We have him fully scouted. He jumped up to 10th on our board. Elite potential contact, very good vision and discipline. Not much power, but from a second baseman, if he can get on base, by drawing walks, getting singles and doubles, we don't really need him to be the most powerful, although probably a below average fielder, but good speed. 6'4", 239. This guy is like the size of a tight end there playing second base. Very good potential and very good overall as well. So kind of like a high floor, high ceiling type guy. I think there was another second baseman that we had. Actually, we're scouting him currently. Tom Park. Where are we doing? Tom Park out of Chinese Taipei. 6'4", 215, left-handed second baseman. Goes up to 72 from 174 so far. 3/4 scouted. Not the best bat, but a very good fielder. Good speed. Can hit righties fairly well. So as a late round pick, projected at 174, if we can get him at a little bit earlier, maybe at 141, 111, that would probably be a good pick. Now over to third base, we talked about Alex Parra, the second-ranked prospect. Now Billy McKenna, maybe a target at pick 44 if we have nothing better. 97 potential contact against lefties, good vision discipline, and looks solid in the field as well, but only 60% scouted. For third base, Chris Parnell, probably not going to go after him. Let's do it at third base for now. Shortstop, we have some options. We talked about Marcos Casto as a potential pick at number 7, but based on the lack of bat, I don't think we would really invest that draft capital into him. Jesus Hernandez, currently 36 from 112, with very good contact, a switch hitter, very good vision, looks above average in the field, good speed. So maybe Jesus Hernandez a potential pick at maybe 81, but as we saw in last year's draft, even though these guys are projected at 112, other teams are scouting them, so they do tend to get drafted earlier than they're projected. Keith Benitez, not even ranked, but we have him at 112, 60% scouted. Nothing special, but a good ceiling at this point in the draft. We haven't delved too much into the outfield. I don't think at all. Steve Dell, number 1 on the overall board, so he'll probably be gone, but we might try to scout him just in case. Center field, Leonardo Pinheiro, 7th on the board, so, at our pick, and we've scouted him about 1/3, and he's dropped to 50, so probably out on him early on in the draft. Robert Marmolejo, 88 to 99 potential with the second base eligibility there as a center fielder. So maybe a late round option as well for Robert Marmolejo, maybe at 111 if we don't have better options. At right field, Pedro Rosado, we talked about him. We definitely have to scout him in the coming weeks as he might be our top option at number 7. And that's really it. The scouting system here in MLB The Show is it's challenging. You really have to focus your priority, or you have to set your priorities straight. Really, you can't just disperse throughout the entire class. You kind of just have to focus on like specific players or a specific position group if you want to maximize your scouting potential. So now we'll kick it back up. We're 23-31. A very good episode last time out. We responded from a horrible April. I think we started the season like 6-21, but since then have rebounded very well. We ended last episode winning 8 of our last 10, and we'll now pick it up here. German Marquez against Jameson Taillon. The Cubs 29-24, the reigning World Series champions. We'll start this episode with a quick manage. We'll get a few key moments and probably a player lock game as well. So we'll stick with our current lineup. A lot of flames here in the lineup right now. A good turnaround from where we've been most of the way. So like I said, Taillon on the mound here against Brendan Rodgers, who's leading it off. Ryan McMahon draws a walk. A 2-run home run from Pete Alonso. You'd love to see him going early. And then 2 outs there. So 2-0 after the top of the first. Nico Horner, an all-star last year, to lead it off. Then Happ and Suzuki. So 1-2-3 inning to start for Marquez. Oh, a 2-out walk there to Yanquiel Fernandez. Now Danny Jansen up as he grounds into a fielder's choice. A single there from Bellinger with 1 out. Another single by Swanson, so runners on first and second, 1 away. Spencer Torkelson up to bat. He was traded to the Cubs last year from Detroit. And now a 2-out walk, so the base is loaded for Omar Narvaez, batting just 172 in the 9-hole. And he gets a 2 RBI single to tie it up. And now Horner a single, and Ian Happ up, and a 3-run home run, and German Marquez just totally implodes here. And we're going to bring in Ryan Yarbrough. That was so quick. Marquez, he's been, we don't know what to do with him. He's kind of been good in his last couple starts, but here a 6-run inning completely implodes now here in the bottom of the 3rd. And a RBI double from Swanson. And then Yarbrough does get out of the inning. A solo home run to start the 4th from Nolan Jones. He's been getting the power going lately, but nothing after that. Now, bottom of the 4th, a 2-out single from Happ, a double from Suzuki, and Patrick Wisdom, a 2 RBI single. So we'll go back to the pen. And, we have a lot of fatigue in the bullpen right now. I guess we'll just go to Lucas Sims, see how long he can last. He gets a strikeout, so 9-3 now in the top of the 5th. our pitching not holding up in this one. A hit by pitch, then an error. Now 2 outs, Pete Alonso, and he pops up. Swanson now on to lead off the bottom of the 5th as he draws a walk. Back-to-back strikeouts and then a fielder's choice. A good response from Sims. Now Nolan Jones flies out after homering in his last at-bat. A 1-2-3 inning there. Sims still on the bump, and he gets another 1-2-3 inning. And Jameson Taillon, after the 2-run first inning, he's allowed just barely anything, just that home run from Jones. Only 2 hits on the day for Colorado. As Yanquiel Fernandez a double, and Danny Jansen the RBI single. We really need him to get going. Now Rogers on, and he gets an RBI double, so we get a couple back here. Now 9-5, Ryan McMahon, as he's facing Mark Leiter, a ground out. Now Pete Alonso on with 2 outs, and he strikes out. 9-5, Patrick Wisdom now up, and Lucas Sims, 2 outs and a walk, so I think we'll give him one more batter as he does get the fly out. So Lucas Sims, a very good outing, more innings than he's accustomed to. And Nolan Jones, another home run, and we've now scored 3 unanswered, now 9-6. Chris Bryant now up against Julian Merriweather, and he gets a double. Now Anthony Santander pops up, Tovar strikeout, Fernandez a single, his second hit, and let's see if Danny Jansen can deliver again, and he gets a single, so now the tying run on base, bases loaded for Brendan Rodgers, and he gets the station to station, continues that theme. Now 9-7, Ryan McMahon on. They put Yency Almonte into the game, and McMahon strikes out with the bases loaded. Now Darryl Talbot up. We'll go back to the bullpen. We'll go to Carlos Estevez here. Fly out walk single. Now Ian Happ, sack bunt, 2 runners in scoring position for Suzuki as he draws a walk. Now Patrick Wisdom on, and we get the fielder's choice. Now a 2-run game. We've clawed back a little bit as they go to Albert Alzaway for the close. Pete Alonso up to plate as he flies out. Now Jones a ground out. Bryant a 2-out single. I think we'll go with a pinch runner. We'll go Brenton Doyle there. And now Santander on with 2 away, and he strikes out. So a good game. The Rockies came back. Started off very bad pitching-wise, but like I said, fought back a little bit and were able to go down with some dignity as now we start a series here with the Marlins. We'll go ahead and simulate this. We'll just simulate real quick into June as we drop this one against the Marlins. 5-2, Rosario at the top of the lineup. Fernandez 2 for 3, so he had a home run in this game. He's batting .428 since being called up in the last episode. Maybe Max Fried's worst outing, 5 earned and just 3 1/3. But Taj Bradley, 3 2/3 of scoreless work, and Estevez a scoreless inning. Now Cal Quantrill 1-7 on the bump against Yuri Perez. And we do have a key moment here. Sixto Sanchez on the mound. Tie game 3-3. Nolan Jones, another home run in this game. And Pete Alonso also a home run in this game. Let's see if Jones can deliver in this spot. Tie game. And we do end up winning. Sterling Thompson injured just 1 to 2 weeks. Let's take a look. So it came in the top of the 9th. So McMahon, Jones, Alonso, and Santander all with solo home runs. So 4 of our 6 hits for solo home runs. Quantrill 6 strong innings, 7 strikeouts. Yarbrough gets the win. And Justin Lawrence another save. Now Kyle Freeland 3-5 with a 5 even ERA here against Sandy Alcantara. And we get the win. We win the series 4-2 in this one. McMahon, another home run. Chris Bryant, 2 for 4, batting .335. Fernandez, another hit, batting .372. Rogers, 2 for 5. That pitching, Freeland, 6 strong innings, only 1 earned. Estevez and Ferguson each a scoreless inning for a hold. And Justin Lawrence did allow a run, but still gets the save. Now we'll go ahead a little bit here to a series against Arizona. And as I said, we'll just simulate into June, and then we'll probably pick up a key moment or a player lock game. Now here we have Jack Flaherty on the mound against Zach Gallen. The Diamondbacks 1 game under .500. Jones has a 10-game hitting streak as we're up 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. So a pitcher's duel. Only 1 hit allowed by Zach Gallen. That was a home run. We'll just simulate to the end. And they did come back to beat us 2-1. And we only had 3 hits in this game. Allowed 2 in the top of the 8th. Tovar with the home run. Flaherty, no earned runs in 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. And then Ferguson blew it. And he has not been good. Now, the last game here in May, Marquez, we'll see if he can rebound. His spot in the rotation is kind of on the line here. 4-5, 5.86 ERA. Battling here against Jordan Montgomery. Nolan Jones, a finger contusion out 1 to 2 weeks, so we're going to have to call somebody up here. And that's a tough break. He's been hitting the ball really well, probably his best stretch of baseball maybe in this series so far. We do fall 8 to 1 here. Rogers had a hit, Tovar 2 for 4, Jones 2 for 2. Danny Jansen got a home run. German Marquez 4 earned, so yeah, I think he might be done in the rotation. Taj Bradley 3 earned and 3 1/3. Lucas Gilbreth 1 earned and 2/3. So none of our pitching held up really in that series. Juan Ayala, our second round pick from last year, struggled, although he was doing really good before we started this episode. Zach Kokoska 318 in May. Michael Tolia 359. He spent a lot of time in the bigs last year. Michael Yamashita, we headlined him last episode, our number 3 overall pick from last year. 26 strikeouts and 34 1/3, 2.62 ERA. And Mitch Bratt, a lefty we acquired from Texas last year, no earned, 10 strikeouts in 7 innings in May. So with the injury to Nolan Jones, we are going to have to go over to AAA and call someone up in his place. Sean Bouchard we called down, and he hasn't really been hitting well in the bigs or in AAA. So we'll get down a little further. And here he is, Pavin Smith. We brought him in as a spring training invite, and he stole the show back in that spring training episode a few back in AAA so far, hitting over 300, OBP just under 400, slugging over 450, 7 homers. And like I said, I think he hit over 400 in the spring and around 50 at-bats or so. I could be wrong on those numbers, but he was tremendous. His contact versus lefties going up +6, power versus righties +4, and we needed a left-handed bat to take the spot of Nolan Jones, and I think Pavin Smith has earned that spot. And they're actually going to come over and make a trade. I really wasn't expecting this, but German Marquez, I think we got to get rid of him while he at least has some semblance of value on an expiring contract. So even though he hasn't really been good the past 2 seasons, 4 and 6 in each of the past 2 years, ERA just under 6, WHIP a little bit better at 1.32, 7 quality starts and negative WAR the past 2 years. But overall, one of the best pitchers in Colorado Rockies history, which is why we kind of kept a long leash on him. But we just got to get rid of him. I think he can go to a contender, maybe bid as like a 4 number 5 starter, long relief type guy if they really need one. I was looking at the Cubs. They need pitching help, and we just played them. So Jameson Taillon, who we just faced, he's going to be hurt for 2-3 months with shoulder separation, and they could use a bump here towards the bottom of the rotation. Jordan Wick's their number 4 with an ERA over 5. So I think Marquez would slide in with the reigning World Series champs and provide a little more depth for him, as they wouldn't expect too much from him, but they didn't really have anything of value that we would want for Marquez. Understandably, not the most value on the trade market. So now we'll come over here to the Angels, and they've expressed a need for starting pitching. And when you look at the rotation, you kind of see why. Reed Detmers, their ace, he's been very good compared to the rest of their staff, along with Sandoval. But then we get here to Griffin Canning, 4 and 5 with an ERA over 5.5. Chase Silseth, 5 and 1, doing pretty all right, but still not holding it down as well as you would like. And then Zach Plesac, he's pitching pretty well, but even then the bullpen is pretty weak. So I think Marquez would be a prime guy to be like a spot starter, long relief type guy for the Angels. And they are a team, prone to going after the big names. I know Marquez at this point, a couple years removed from any type of pitching success, but they'll take a run at him. They have a good pitching coach who's gotten the most out of their guys already, so they're going to take the chance. And with the Angels, they do have interest in a left fielder. They need a corner outfielder, a corner infield type guy at third base. They have Merrill Carney, an 18-year-old rookie, and we actually wanted him really bad in this past year's draft, but they reached for him. He was like the 60th ranked prospect or something like that, and they took him in the first round. So a very good pick on their scouting department's behalf, but still only 18 years old, really not pro ready. So Sean Bouchard, a left fielder by trade, but someone who could fill in at third base and first base. They have Nolan Shanuel, and he's been hitting the ball extremely well, batting .341, one of the top young first basemen in all of baseball, really coming around there for the Angels. But still, they could use some depth at first and third, along with left field and right field. So we'll package Marquez and Bouchard in order to get the most out of this deal. And Bouchard, also a California kid. He's had good slugging over, 3 scattered seasons with the Rockies, 345 at-bats, so almost, enough for like a full season of play over a 4-year span. 452 slugging, like I said, California kid, so they'll bring him back home, hope they can get the best out of him. And then I was looking around, and I think Jo Adell might make a lot of sense here. His hitting has really declined over the last 3 years, and maybe just a change of scenery is what he needs. Not the best fielder, and really his bat, still a lot to be desired. Vision and discipline need a lot of improvement, but I like the beat potential, only 26 with 96 speed, so I think he's someone that can come in and kind of make an impact as, a rotation type guy, a platoon type guy, correction there. And like I said, I think a change of scenery would do him really well, and with Bouchard coming in, I think the Angels would they'd be able to afford getting rid of Jo Adell. So we do have a little bit of interest left that we can squeeze in. So I'm going to go to the bullpen here. I think adding relievers through trades as kind of just like fill-ins is not a bad way to build a bullpen. You don't need a bunch of studs. Here's Ricky Raymond, a lefty with a 3-pitch mix, 4-seamer, changeup, slider. Good strikeouts per 9, good home runs per 9. The walks per 9, though, going to be a little killer. Try and get that control a little bit up. Good, decent velocity, passable, and decent hits per 9. So he's only 20 years old, a 59 overall, but I think a good addition, especially a lefty. And like I've been saying, it's kind of easier to build the bullpen through trades as kind of just like throw-in type guys. And Jo Adell, I think, is going to be a decent addition, as like I said, in a platoon role, and I'm hoping he can still develop. So German Marquez going to the Angels as they're in the middle of a playoff run trying to bid for a wild card spot, as he'll bolster their pitching staff a little bit. And Sean Bouchard along with Jo Adell, each player kind of need a change of scenery. So we'll welcome Adell in with open arms and hope he can turn things around a little bit. And trade accepted. Nice doing business with you, LA. So in a corresponding move, we do need to add another pitcher to the rotation, and we're going to go to AAA here. Chase Dollander entered last year as our top pitching prospect. He got 5 starts last year as a September call-up, 4.55 ERA, 1.28 WHIP with 3 quality starts. Overall, pretty solid overall. Probably still need a little bit of progression to be a full-time starting pitcher, but with the state of our rotation, with the state of our rotation, I think we kind of call him up. Very good in AAA so far, 3-4, 3.05 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 2-1 strikeout per walk ratio pretty much. So he's back up. He is a top prospect. We'll go over to top prospects. Number 1, Paul Francisco, a top pick in last year's draft, hitting 276 so far. Harper Wooten, this is who we wanted. We had the 3rd pick. The Reds picked him at 2. And so far, 222 batting average and just 36 at-bats. No home runs yet. Where's our guys? So Adiel Amador in AAA right now. Shortstop, our top prospect still. Hitting 251 with 4 home runs, already matching last year's total. Michael Yamashita here at 23. We heard about him recently. Where's Dollander? Jose Vera. He's in single A, so we haven't had any numbers on him yet, up to a 59 overall. Dollander here at 46, so he's dropped a little bit since last year, but still a potential starting pitcher. And we hope that he can come along pretty well here, as we hope he can stand in the staff the remainder of the season. So we'll throw him in there. And then we are going to have to call someone down. And Lucas Gilbreth, he's been solid, but just 7 innings. We're going to give Caleb Ferguson here one more chance. We'll give him like another week or 2 and see if he can pick it up. A 76 overall who we signed in the offseason. He's not declining. He's still progressing despite his awful start, but Gilbreth, the next man up as a lefty. We called up Ryan Yarbrough, and we do need him in a long relief role along with Taj Bradley. So that's going to be the state for our team going forward. And I will pick up the simming again now, starting in June, 25-35, as we look to avoid the sweep here against the Diamondbacks. Only 2 runs combined in the first 2 games. Max Fried on against Eduardo Rodriguez. And we do get the 3-1 victory, 10 hits. Brendan Rodgers 0 for 4 at the top. A double from Santander, Bryant, and DeLay. Jo Adell 1 for 2 with a walk in his debut. Jason DeLay 3 for 3 at the bottom of the lineup with 2 RBIs. Max Fried 7 innings, just 1 earned. Curtis and Lawrence 2 strikeouts each as they closed it down. And now a series here against the Brewers. And we are going to get a player lock game here against Boston coming up, probably in this Chase Dollander season debut. Now Kyle Quantrill on against the Brewers, just 1-7. Chris Bryant 3 for 3 with a home run and 4 RBIs, just a triple short of the cycle, and we still trail here 6-5 in the top of the 7th. We do fall here 8-7, and let's see if Bryant got the cycle. He was 4 for 4, but a triple short of the cycle, and he's batting .351 on the season. Just unreal. Pavin Smith in his Rockies debut, 2 for 4 at the bottom of the lineup with a couple strikeouts. Pitching, Kyle Quantrill, 5 earned in 5 innings. And pretty much everyone else in the pen gave up a run except Lucas Sims in just 1/3. Now Kyle Freeland down against Freddie Peralta, as we do get the win. Win 8-5. Bryant, Alonso, home runs. McMahon 3 for 5. He's back up over 300. Pete Alonso 2 for 4. A home run and a double. Santander 2 hits. Tovar and Fernandez 2 hits. Pavin Smith 1 for 4. Pitching, Freeland 7 innings, 4 earned, so not the best, but he does get the win. And Justin Lawrence another save. So now the rubber match here, Jack Flaherty on against Brandon Woodruff, and we fall 11-6. 4 for 4 was McMahon now at 315. Pete Alonso 2 for 4, another home run, 4 RBIs. Danny Jansen 2 for 4. Santander a home run. Pavin Smith 0 for 3. And probably Flaherty's worst start, 8 earned in just 2 1/3. He's been very good, but a bad outing here. Same with Taj Bradley, 3 earned in 1 2/3. But Ryan Yarbrough 4 scoreless, and we like to see that. And now we're going to jump into a player lock game here with Danny Jansen. We signed him in the offseason to a 3-year, like $32 million deal. Not the best start, 239, but he has picked it up a little bit as of late. Batting 239, as I said, OPS at 668, just 4 home runs. He's been striking out a lot, but still seeing decent progression along the board, +4 in contact versus lefties, although falling by 1 in each power department. But we'll take the +4 against lefties, as that counteracts a little bit for the loss of power. But really want him to get going. Still only 29. We're hoping he kind of strides into his prime here during this contract. We're now here for some Rockies baseball against the Boston Red Sox, and we're at the ever historic Fenway Park. We're going to try and hit one over the monster today with Danny Jansen, as each team comes in with an identical record at 27-37. Brian Mata on the mound for the Red Sox here today, 4-0, making his first start of the season, a primary long relief guy throughout the course so far. There you see the numbers, a 4.68 ERA with a very good whip at 1.16. Not a big strikeout pitcher, more of a pitch-to-contact type guy who's going to limit walks as well. As we said, a player lock game here with Danny Jansen, as we don't even get to bat yet. Now, the bottom of the second, Chase Dollander on the mound, already at 45 pitches. And I actually never have had a player lock situation with a catcher. As a bunt right in front of Jansen, oh my goodness, and we fail to field it. I'm not sure what happened there, and why is Devers bunting? Why is Rafael Devers bunting with the bases loaded? Definitely caught us off guard. Pulled away from the ball. I thought the pitcher might rush at it. And now we're still here in the bottom of the second, and Dollander still on the mound now. 4 given up. 2 away here, a 1-2 count. And that's popped up here to Jansen. And the first time we take the plate, we're going to be trailing 4-0. Not good so far here from Fenway. We're now here to lead it off. Jansen batting .239, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs on the season. Batting in the 8 hole today. Brian Mata on the mound. And we look at an inside cutter. Jansen just hopefully a stopgap at catcher, hoping we can get someone a little bit better as we swing and a miss at a fastball. And it is going to take, it's been a while between episodes. I haven't played, so it'll take me a little bit to get acclimated. As I say that every time, and we rip that to deep center, and that gets over the monster, and that's out of here. Danny Jansen, a rip. Perfect. See you later. And we're now on the board, 437 feet. And I thought I was being a little presumptuous earlier when I said we were going over the monster, but to my surprise, a pleasant surprise, we rip it. That was an absolute bomb from Danny Jansen, hung over the plate. And that was a deep one, 437 feet. And that's what we like to see. We don't like to see trailing 8-1 now as Chase Dollander. He just did not have a good day. Now top of the 5th, and we look at a changeup outside. Big deficit here, down 7 runs. And we were hoping from a little bit better there from Dollander. As we highlighted, one of the top pitching prospects in our organization, as Mata does get a cutter over for a strike now, 2-1. But, it's just one start. We got to take it start by start. As a swing and a miss there on the fastball, now evened up 2-2 count. And Jansen, another rip. And he's going to watch that one. Again, we go over the monster. And I don't even think that one made it into the monster. I think that went over it. Jansen 2 for 2 with 2 bombs. That one 457. What is going on here? We've had some good success in player lock games. Not so much last time with Anthony Santander, but when we played as Pete Alonso a few episodes back, we had a 3 for 5 game, a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, but nothing like this. What has gotten into Danny Jansen? Some absolute bombs here tonight from Fenway. And I think that went all the way over the monster. My goodness, now it's an 8-3 game. Tovar had an RBI double earlier. As we get some highlights here. I can't get over this performance from Danny Jansen. The second one, you got to pimp that one out a little bit, of course. Let's see if we can make it 3. Now Isaiah Campbell on to start the top of the 7th. And first pitch swing and a miss at the fastball. Contact on that one. We might have had a third. 8-3. Jansen's big day being overshadowed as he'll rip one into left field and make it 3 for 3. 2 home runs and now a single as the leadoff man here in the 7th. That'll bring up the newly called up Pavin Smith. Recently made his Rockies debut. A 1-2 count here with no outs. There he's gonna ground that to second. They get the out at second base. No throw to first. Oh, we're safe. How are we safe on that one? Maybe I misread the shortstop getting over to the bag, but I thought we were dead to rights there. I thought it was a double play ball. They ended up getting nothing. Now an 0-1 count to Brennan Rodgers. And that's going to be sent out to center. I don't think we're tagging here. We're going to hold pat. Or stand pat, correction, as I should say. And now 1 away here in the top of the 7th. That'll bring up Ryan McMahon. 11 home runs. He leads the team right now. 0-1 count. See if he can make something happen. Campbell's still on the bump. And McMahon is going to just pop that one up to third. That's going to go for an infield fly. Now 2 outs as we fail to advance the runners. Chris Bryant now up batting .335 on the year with 3 home runs and 19 ribbies. A good resurgence from him. 0 for 2 in this game. A 3-0 count. As he does draw the walk. So the base is loaded now for the Rockies. The tying run in the on-deck circle. And that's going to bring up Pete Alonso. 13 home runs. So I guess, correction, that does lead the team, not McMahon. An 0-1 count here for Alonso. And we need the power to show up in this spot. And he just lined that out to left field. It's going to be off the monster. Jansen scores. And Smith will come around to score as well. They're going to wave McMahon home, plate to plate. And he's out by a mile. As we do get 2, 8-5. Danny Jansen's 3 for 3 now. A hectic one here from Fenway. It's now the top of the 8th, an 11-5 ball game now. The Red Sox got 3 more, so our late surge maybe not amounting to anything. Although we'll still try and keep Jansen perfect on the day. As he's going to rip that one, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And that's a 3rd home run over the monster. You got to be kidding me. Danny Jansen, 3 home runs. And we're still down like 4. That one only 369, a little more modest, but I was not prepared for this power surge from Danny Jansen. Exactly the type of game he needed to keep it going. Almost matching his home run total coming into this game. Another rip into the monster. Just absurd as we do fall here in Boston. But Danny Jansen, maybe the best individual performance of this series so far. 4 for 4 with 3 solo shots. Or maybe, I know, that last one was a 2-run bomb. But a really, really encouraging performance as Brian Mata now 5-0. Brendan Bernardino, the closer for Boston, gets his 14th save. And Chase Dollander takes the L. Not a good performance from him. We will get a look at the box score. What's up with that Devers bunt earlier? What was that? So Danny Jansen, 4 for 4. 4 RBIs. 3 home runs. Chase Dollander just 2 1/3. 7 earned, 5 walks, 6 hits. Taj Bradley, 3 2/3. Lucas Sims, 3 earned and not even an inning. And Ryan Yarbrough, a scoreless inning and a third. Not exactly how you draw it up, 4 for 4 with 3 home runs, but you still lose. And now we'll look to rebound here. Max Fried against Garrett Whitlock. A key moment here. Runners on the corners for Tovar. Top of the 8th, 2 away. As we do come away with a win in that one. See Rogers 1 for 4. Chris Bryant 2 for 4. And Pavin Smith 4 for 4. Now batting .473. As he had a double. Bryant delay, each with a home run. Max Fried allowed 8 hits, but only 3 earned in 5. Yarbrough 2 innings, 1 earned. Estevez 2 earned and scoreless work. And Justin Lawrence another save. As we'll look to win this rubber match. We have Cal Quantrill on the mound, still just 1-7 against Tanner Hoke. And Justin Lawrence on for the save. Just a 1-0 game. Lou Barrero on first, one of the best base stealers in baseball. J.D. Martinez back in Boston. And we'll see if Lawrence can close it out. And he does not. And we might need to get a new closer in here at some point. Fernandez 2 for 4 with a double. Kyle Quantrill 8 scoreless innings. But Justin Lawrence imploded now 0-5. I think his 5th blown save. And one more I think we'll need to pull him from that spot. Nolan Jones is eligible to come back off the IL. So that's very good news. However, we do have one man over the roster limit at this point, so we have to call someone down, and it was a tough choice. I kind of like how our lineup is coming along, especially our bench pieces, but I would really like to just feel out this pitching staff a little bit longer before we start making some drastic changes to the bullpen. So we're going to have to get rid of a position player here, and seeing as how Pavin Smith, he was very good in the spring, he's progressing quite nicely at this point, batting .391 in a limited sample size. We just acquired Joe Adell, who we hope can come along. So I think we need to call down an outfielder, and Yanquiel Fernandez is not going to be that guy. In just 72 at-bats, already matched last year's home run totals in about 20 less at-bats, already more RBIs, batting .319, .364 OBP, .569 slugging, a .933 OPS. So he's emerging as like a franchise caliber type player. Only a 71 overall though, but 22 years old. His potential has gone up to an A. So I think he's someone who, over the course of this series, is going to develop into one of our, cornerstone players. So that brings me here to Brenton Doyle, and you know what you get from him: elite glove out there in center, which is always a nice luxury with elite speed. But he's not going to bring anything to the plate now this season, batting less than 200. 9 home runs the year prior, 10 the year before that, and batting over 200 last year at 231. With an OPS at 632, but a huge dip this year. And, a team like the Rockies, we don't really have much offensive firepower, so we really can't afford to have one liability in the lineup. We kind of need to have balance throughout. So I think a contender who can kind of afford to, waste a spot at number 9 in the lineup would be willing to take on the speed and, the Gold Glove caliber play of Doyle in the outfield. Not really a rebuilding team. Type team center fielder. I think he would benefit elsewhere. And the potential dipping, not really seeing much progression. So I was hoping for a little bit more from Doyle in this series, but I think the more I thought about it between episodes, the more I thought it made sense to maybe trade him elsewhere. So I looked around. The Braves I originally thought would maybe be a good fit. They need some depth in the outfield. Jared Kelenic, his potential is dipping. He's not really hitting too well, but still a decent left-handed bat in that outfield. Marcell Ozuna, seeing some regression at 34 now, but still hitting pretty well. Michael Harris, of course, out there with Ronald Acuna Jr., but really no one else besides that. So the Braves, a very good team, fundamentally, and Doyle would fit in quite nicely. But instead, I'm going to go over to the American League. I'm going to go to a different division leader, over to the Baltimore Orioles. So Austin Hayes starting left fielder, solid hitter. Cedric Mullins in center. Very underwhelming year, but still a fan favorite there with the Orioles. Jordan Luplow, their starting right fielder, or maybe not, but still, a platoon player. Mauricio Dubon, his first season with the Orioles, batting less than 200. Colton Cowser's in AAA. Austin Slater, solid as a left fielder, but they need more depth back there, and I think Brenton Doyle would be a tremendous addition to this lineup. A very good team all around, but really need a boost there in the outfield, especially some speed and a Gold Glove caliber player. So they have a bunch of guys here. Willie Rudolph, a 73 overall, 23-year-old catcher, a very good hitter, especially against lefties with a viable glove. And, he would be pretty even with Doyle in this trade. Same here with Samuel Basallo out of the Dominican Republic, an 20-year-old catcher. And we're desperate for a good catching prospect. But he's in the big leagues right now with the Orioles. He has been the last 2 years. They've given him some time. So I don't see them trading him, although maybe in the future, that they already have Adley Rutschman, perhaps the best catcher in the league. Last year batted .399. This year batting .373. But he wasn't eligible for the batting title last year. Not enough at bats, only at .331. But we're going to let them hang on to their catchers. There was another really good player that I was looking at. A center fielder here, Enrique Bradfield Jr., but we're going to go with a reliever instead, and that's Ken Hughes. I believe Hughes was the top closer in last year's draft, if I'm not mistaken. 22 years old out of New Jersey. They don't even have him in Double-A yet. He's still in Single-A, and he's going to dominate. I don't think he's too far away from maybe emerging as our closer. I voiced our need for a closer here very recently in this episode, and he's going to have elite strikeout stuff. The home runs per 9 already at 78. Hits very good already at 66. Going to need to work on the walks per 9, control, and the clutch. But 89 velocity, he's going to hit up to 97 with a 4-seam slider, cutter, changeup. And as we just saw in the last trade, I really like to build this bullpen through the trade market. So we're going to send Brenton Doyle to the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for Ken Hughes, who we believe is going to develop into probably one of the best relievers in all of baseball in the next few seasons. So Brenton Doyle, thank you so much for your service. You played in over 300 games, a Gold Glove there in center field for us. But at this point in a rebuild, probably just not the best fit for what this team needs. So Ken Hughes, we're going to look towards the future, and Hughes maybe even cracks the bullpen by next season. So it's been real, and be well, Brenton Doyle, and welcome to the organization, Ken Hughes. So now we're ready to get back to the simming. Probably just going to do one more key moment in this episode, maybe here against Seattle in this series or maybe in the Detroit series. But, I didn't expect this episode to turn the way it did with the trades. I'm one to typically be a little more reserved. I like to keep it realistic, but at this state in the rebuild, we're now 28-39, and, we have a short leash as a general manager. So if we want to get our team going and build it the way we want, we kind of do have to make trades early on in this series now, towards the halfway point of year 2. And, I'm kind of worried if we don't step it up, we're at risk of getting fired. So just a little rationale on my part making these trades. And I try to keep it realistic with the compensation we get back, as it is a little easy in this game, I think, to take advantage. But back to the simming, as we'll try and close this episode. We have Kyle Freeland on against George Kirby, just 1-6 in ERA over 6, as we do get shut out. Only 3 hits. Rogers, Alonso, Santander, all singles. Freeland, 3 earned and 5. Taj Bradley, 3 scoreless. And Lucas Sims, 1 scoreless inning. Now Jack Flaherty against Luis Castillo, as we have Santander 2 home runs in this one. We're up 10-1. And let's see if Santander can make it 3. We did give up 4 late ones. We still won 10-5. Bryant 2 for 3. Santander 2 for 3 with those 2 home runs. Pete Alonso getting going here, another home run. Flaherty just 1 earned in 6 innings. He's now 4-5. 3 earned from Yarbrough and 1 earned from Caleb Ferguson. Now the rubber match, we have Dollander, who really needs to rebound after that one against Boston. A very bad start to his season against Logan Gilbert. And we're down 5-2. The winning run at the plate with 2 outs. Andres Munoz on for the close. And why not? Let's enter this one. We've had some good luck at the plate. Those 3 home runs with Danny Jansen. Now let's see if we can get it going here with Ezequiel Tovar. 2 away, bases loaded here. Tovar batting .260, OPS over 700. And I think he's a future Gold Glover at shortstop. Only 22, 23 years old. Munoz throws absolute gas. That's why I was a little reluctant to jump into this situation, but we're up to the challenge. Or maybe not, but we'll see. And we should not be swinging at that high cheese. You know, we might just enter this one and go down on 3 pitches. And now we look at that one, a slider outside. And now the 1-2 count. Swing and a miss on the sinker. And we come into this one with the bases loaded. And we strike out on 4 pitches as we fall here to the Seattle Mariners. We gave it the old college try there. We knew the odds were stacked against us, but, you know, just gave it a shot. Pete Alonso, 2 for 4, a double. And Chase Dollander, a good rebound start. 6 innings, only 2 earned, 6 strikeouts. Taj Bradley, though, 3 earned in 1/3. Lucas Sims, 1 2/3 of scoreless work. And Estevez has been stringing together some good appearances, another scoreless inning. Now we have Max Fried on against Matt Manning, a series here against Detroit, as we'll take this one 3-1. Needed to get a win. Brendan Rodgers and Pete Alonso home runs. Nolan Jones a double. Jason DeLay a hit, filling in for Jansen. 8 scoreless from Max Fried. Justin Lawrence a blown save, though, it looks like. Or, I'm sorry, not a blown save, but still an earned run. And John Curtis on for the save. And now Cal Quantrill against Reese Olson. And it looks like Quantrill finally got his 2nd win as we take another one against the Tigers. Ahmed Rosario, two doubles. Joe Adell a double. Danny Jansen another home run. Rogers 2 for 5. Rosario 2 for 5. Alonso 2 for 4. McMahon 2 for 5. Pitching Cal Quantrill 7 scoreless, and he's someone we might move at the trade deadline, hoping he can put together some good starts and raise that trade value. Justin Lawrence, his 19th save, as we're now 31-41. And now we'll just simulate this last week, and I think we'll pick it up next episode with a full game against the Twins. And then the episode following that, we'll have our 2025 MLB Draft, our Year 2 MLB Draft episode. So now Kyle Freeland on against Casey Mize, 9-2, and he might be up for a Cy Young Award. Peter Piero on, and we're up 10-2 as Pete Alonso looking to keep a 12-game hitting streak alive here in the bottom of the 8th. And we do hold here a sweep here against the Tigers, as Alonso did not extend the hitting streak, but Rosario 3 for 5, a home run, 2 home runs and a double from Ahmed Rosario. Nolan Jones 2 for 4. He had a double. Joe Adell 2 for 4, another double for him. Tovar had a home run. Kyle Freeland 2 earned in 7 innings. He's now 6-6 and 2 scoreless innings for Estevez. He's really coming around. And now a series here, a 4-game set against the Diamondbacks. Flaherty on against Montgomery as we fall 6-5. We were down 6-2 early on, fought back a little bit. Rogers, Santander, Adell with multi-hit games. Another double for Adell, and his average now up to 246, up like 40 points since we traded for him. Jack Flaherty, another bad start, 6 earned, but then Taj Bradley, 3 2/3 of scoreless work, looked to respond here. Chase Dollander on the bump. His 3rd start. He'll get his first win as we win 9-3. Fernandez, a double, a home run, as he went 2 for 5. Rogers 4 for 5 with a home run. Alonso, Santander each had a home run. The hitting has been, coming along and been fairly consistent. 2 earned from Dollander. He's now 1-2. And Yarbrough gets the 3-inning save. Now game 3, we have Fried on against Rodriguez. Tanner Scott on for the save. Signed a huge contract in the offseason. Ahmed Rosario on first. Santander up to the plate. No outs. And we do rally there in the 3rd. We took a 5-3 lead, but then we blew it in the bottom half of the inning. McMahon went 3 for 4. Bryant 2 for 4. Chris Bryant had 2 home runs, and he's hitting .318. Max Fried 3 earned in 5 2/3. Taj Bradley a scoreless appearance, and another blown save and loss from Justin Lawrence. So I think we really have to make a change to our closer. He was very good last year, 17 out of 18, but just 19 out of 25 this season, an ERA over 6. So I think we just keep him in the bullpen, in just a middle relief type role. Lucas Sims, he really has to get it together along with Ferguson. And I think we might be out on Ferguson here very shortly as well. Gilbreth, though, not pitching well in AAA. What about the closer? Ken Hughes, who we just traded for. 3 out of 4, 2 strikeouts in 4 2/3, 1.93 ERA, a .86 whip. But, I mean, Taj Bradley has been our most dominant most dominant relief pitcher. And I think he would fit in nicely as a closer, but I feel like we really need him in that long relief spot. 66 strikeouts in 69 2/3 innings. I really do think he's our best option at this point, so I think we'll make Taj Bradley. We'll just experiment here. We might go closer by committee. John Curtis has been very good as a setup man. So we'll put Justin Lawrence into the bullpen under Estevez here. I think we'll throw Estevez as our top guy for now. He's been very good. And we'll roll with this and see how it goes. Only a few more games here. 3 more games before we call it quits in this episode. Cal Quantrill on against Merrill Kelly. Griffin Conine out 1 to 2 months there in AA. Austin Beck, another AA outfielder, out 1 to 2 months. And now Tanner Scott on for another save situation. Again, no outs. And we're down by 1. And we're going to get shut out as Arizona takes 3 out of 4. Only 4 hits here, 7 combined. A double from Rogers. Cal Quantrill just 1 earned in 5 innings, so a decent start. Ferguson, a scoreless outing along with Sims. Sims had 2 innings. And now here against Houston, a very good Astros team, as Kyle Freeland on against Lance McCullers. We do get a key moment. Justin Lawrence on in the top of the 9th. 2 outs. 2 men on. And we get out of that one. We end up winning 5-4, a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. And Tovar was really good in this one, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a home run. Maybe had the walk-off RBI, we don't really know. Santander 2 for 5, and Nolan Jones 3 for 4. Kyle Freeland 2 earned in 5 innings. Estevez and Ferguson scoreless outings. John Curtis the blown save, but Justin Lawrence comes on for the win. We simmed the last game against Houston. Of this episode, we lose 5-0. Jack Flaherty 3 earned in 6 innings of work. Lucas Sims gave up 2 earned. Ryan Yarbrough 1 scoreless inning. At the plate, Chris Bryant 2 for 3. No extra base hits, only 8 hits for the Rockies. Well, not only, it's good getting 8 hits, but not when you can't score any runs. So we'll end this episode at 34-45, currently last in the NL West, but we're not the worst in the NL and certainly not the worst in the league. But a productive episode overall. We made a couple trades that I'm pretty happy about. I think they'll help this team moving forward. And this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we made 2 big trades that I think will help this team moving forward. But we really got to shore up the bullpen and especially our closing pitcher. But Danny Jansen, 3 home runs over the monster. You can't make that up. A tremendous episode from that aspect, although we did end up losing that game. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.